Hello, everybody. Today, I'm going to go over how to build your projects, how to save them. You can also, rather than building, you could export them as a package, and that would be your entire Unity project all bundled together as a package that then anybody else could import into a Unity project. Or you can also just zip your Unity project and upload the zipped file. Depending on how many assets you have in your project, how big it's gotten, both the project package or the zip file are going to be pretty large. So one other way, of course, is to build your project as a WebGL project and then post it to a platform such as itch.io. Before I do that, I want to talk about organizing your projects. So both macOS and Windows have a documents folder. And I know with macOS, your computer will run a lot better if you utilize the documents folder rather than the desktop to keep your files organized. So at the bottom of the documents folder, I have an XR folder, and that's where I keep all of my projects for classes for this class. And I have a Unity folder where I have working files of all my projects. So what we're going to be looking at in this video is the Vuforia demo finished project. So I already have it in the Unity Hub, Vuforia demo finished. And you can see it's saved, users, Ricardo Miranda, documents, XRDev, Unity, Vuforia demo project, or demo finished. And I already have it open. If I test this, I could create a screen recording of you testing this, or you could create a screen recording of the project tested and show the finished project in that way with your own images instead of the ones that I provided for the demo. And let's see, make sure that things are working as I had left them. So I'm testing, and there is the first animation, and then let's see. And then there's the second animation. And if I click go, Trump runs, and then the reset button works. Great. So I'll stop that. And I could then build this out for Android or the iOS. However, since I have an old Android that will not support the build out, and I don't pay for the macOS development license, I have the sample scene. So in class, I use the sample scene to assemble everything. That way I wouldn't need the images to keep testing. And for this assignment, a desktop sample scene would be ideal, unless, well, yeah, it would be ideal because I don't have, unless you're a Mac developer and can upload it and then post it freely and send me the title and name, I can search for it and everybody in the class can search for it. However, assuming you're not, I'm going to use a sample scene where I have everything set up. Let's see. I made a few changes to this. If I test it, I moved the camera to -6 to zoom in, -6 on the Z coordinate. So if you remember, on the Z coordinate, you either move into the screen and that's negative, or you move away from the screen and that's positive. So anything that's behind the camera would be in the positive area. In this case, I moved closer to be able to see both the history animation and the insurrection animation. And I moved them on the X coordinate so that they'd be adjacent to one another. If I click go, then that character runs, and I can reset it. I also move these buttons over a bit. Otherwise, it's just has as it had been in class. Right now is as the scene. I'm going to change it to 2D view and scroll out. I'm going to move the buttons over a little bit more for the canvas for the go and reset. Even there. Test it again. Okay, good enough. They're out of the way. We can reset them. Great. I believe I had turned off the animated history altogether by unclicking this checkbox in its inspector. In which case, if it's turned off and I would build it out, it should not be part of the final build, but I'm gonna leave it on. I want it there next to each other. And I'll just save that. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build it. So actually, before I build it out, I can go to Assets, Export Package, and I'm gonna get this Export Package window. I could turn off things that I know aren't part of my project, such as all these icons that came with Vuforia. So I'll collapse all that if I want to turn that off. And then there's other things that aren't being utilized. But rather than going through all this, you can also just leave everything on and go ahead and export. So it's going to ask you where to export it, and it's going to target the project folder itself. I don't keep self-contained packages like that in the project folder itself. I prefer to put it one level up and just keep them. I think I have here a couple, yeah, in the inaction package, Skybox terrain demo Unity package. So I'll keep it in my Unity directory and call it Vuforia AR project. And go ahead and save it. And that was here it is. Now it's 21 megabytes. So it's not too bad. I can, at least on the Mac, right click it and compress it. And it might take off, yeah, it took off half a megabyte. So not really worth it. 20.4 megabytes. Since I have it, I can now upload this to my server, add a link to it from my course page, and download it. The other option is to build it. So let's see. I'm going to go to File, Build Settings, and there's Sample Resource Scenes, 0 main. I'm going to untick that, and I can also right-click on it and choose Remove Selection. I actually have the scene that I want. So I'm going to click Add Open Scene, and scenes, sample scene, that's the one. And I'm going to export it for the web. So I'm going to choose WebGL, and I'm going to click Switch Platform. It'll still take a minute to recompile the code, but it does it all for us. Okay, so great. Now I'm going to click Build and Run. It's going to once again ask me where it goes. So I could put it here in Unity. Maybe I'll create a new folder in the same Unity folder, but I'm going to create a finished projects folder. and save as, and I'll name it Euphoria AR project. So as anything that will be shared in the web, I begin with a lowercase alphabetical character, no spaces. I can use the underscore to denote a space if I wish. And I will go ahead and save it now. So it's building everything. And what I'm going to check for is make sure there's an index file. Since I clicked build and run rather than build, it should automatically start up a local server. Update this app will not work with future versions of macOS. It needs to be updated to improve compatibility. Contact the developer for more information. Okay, that's a separate thing, which I imagine Unity Hub will be updated. So as we wait for this, I can talk a little bit about the next steps. So itch.io is a platform for game developers to share their work. You would need to create a name, username, and password, set up your account, and there people share the work that they create. There's different ways of sharing it. You can share it as a downloadable, or you can share it as a web-friendly project that people can play in the browser. You can set a price, or you can set it as freely available. And let's see what else. There's probably options for licenses, etc. So I'm going to pause this while my computer takes its time, and then I'll start back up once I've exported. Okay, so eventually it built, took a couple minutes, and you can see there's a local host 49622. Once it built, it automatically opened in my default browser, and the project is here along with some labeling, there's Unity WebGL down here. I can resize it, or I can switch to 4-screen. The animations are both going. If I click go, character runs away, I reset, and great. I can escape, and it all looks good. So I'll go ahead and close this window and take a look at where it is. I'll close my build settings. My project is good. I can quit out of Unity if I wish. And I'm going to find it. So in my Unity directory under the first directory in my documents, there's Unity finished projects and Euphoria AR project. And here's the index file. Great. Everything that I need is here. So let's see. I'm going to pause once again and head over to itch.io. All right, so I exported the WebGL, and all the files are in this Euphoria AR project as I named it, and there's an index.html file, which if I don't have a local server running, it's not gonna show me the project. If I just double click on it, it won't run. Now to upload it and share it on itch.io, I need to zip this folder. So I'm going to right click on it and choose compress. And now I have the folder entirely zipped, and I can upload this zipped folder into itch.io. So I'm going to head over to my browser. I've already logged into itch.io, and right now I'm on the index page of the site. So if I go to my username, I can see a dashboard. This is for past projects that I put on here. But I can also go to my username, click on drop down and choose upload new project. All right, so let's walk through this. If I want to create a cover image, I would do so 315 by 250, or that's a minimum, or recommended 630 by 500. I'm going to name it animated history. Here you can use spaces, and itch.io will just add a hyphen to the name. The project URL should be updated with the title once I submit it. I could add a tagline. Let's see. Well, a couple of US history moments. The tagline. And games is fine. You can see there's game assets, mods, physical games, soundtracks, tools, comics, books, other. Maybe other is fine. Makes a little bit more sense. Kind of project. So this is a little important. We are going to use HTML. You have a zip or HTML file that will be played in the browser. So that's what I want to set it up. As release status, release project is complete, but might receive some updates. I'll say it's a prototype. I can add pricing. I'll leave it at 0 or donate. And now we get to the upload a zip file containing your game. There must be an index.html file in the zip, or if it was all totally contained in HTML, you know, say it's a JavaScript game and you included the JavaScript file in the HTML file, then it could just be that single HTML file. But in this case, we're doing the zip folder. So we'll go ahead and upload files. And I have it in my documents. XRDev, Unity, finished projects, and here's a zip folder. So it uploads, and it's not an executable. Okay, so I'm going to assume I can just leave these unclicked. This file will be played in the browser. There it is. That's what I wanted. This file will be played in browser. And how should your project be run in your page? So embedded page, great. Auto detect size, mobile friendly. And we used the click event on the default click event on the buttons. So those are mobile friendly. They don't have to be mouse clicks. They can just be, you know, screen clicks with the finger. And I did use landscape, so I'll set up the orientation as landscape. There's already a Unity full screen button. itch.io can add a second full screen button. I'm gonna leave that off, as well as automatically start on page load, not recommended for Unity games since they can lag the browser when loading. So I'll leave that off, leave this off, enable scroll bars. Sure, just in case. It should fit just fine. And at this point, I could add a description. And this is a project for my XR design development course. Now I can add a tag. Let's see. Visual novel, first person. Wow. Yeah, there could be any number. We'll just call it, it's a history project in this case. Sure, I'll choose alternate history since historically the Iroquois nation hasn't been given credit for its contribution to our Constitution. And I could add links here. Okay, at this point, I'll leave everything alone. Actually, I'm going to disable comments. And only owners and authorized people can view this page. You know, let's see, I'm going to set it as public. So we can share it amongst ourselves. Disable new downloads and purchases. We only those who already own the game or get a download key can download. Does this not affect embedded files? So since this does not affect embedded files, we can turn that off and we can have it unlisted in search and browse. So you can elect to leave it listed. This is up to you. I'm going to leave it unlisted since it's just a course project. Save and view page. All right. There is a problem loading your project, no dimension provided or detected. All right, so let's go back and fix any issues I may have. I'll manually set a size and I'm going to use 900 by 700. That's 900 by 700 pixels. Upload cover image. I bet I have an image that could go in here. I know I have at least an, yeah, we'll use this Iroquois nation.jpg. That's fine. I'm not going to resize it. Recommended 630 by 500. So I could go into Illustrator and resize it for that. But to keep this brief, I'll leave it as it is and go ahead and save it. Let's see what happens this time. If I get any errors. Saved. All right, so I'm going to view page. And I'm going to run the project. And I didn't turn on the full screen button in itch.io. Let's see what happens. So right now it's in an iframe, so it's embedded. It's an iframe is whenever you take a self-contained website and put it inside another web page. So, oh, all right, it works. Great. So it goes full screen. The iframe itself goes full screen. I've got the animation here, the 2D animation, got the 3D animation from the downloaded low poly Trump and the Mixamo exported animations. If I click go, that character goes. I can reset. I'll hit escape. And great. So now all I need is this URL. So RMZ, that's my account on itch.io, my account name, rmz.itch.io/animated history. And I can copy this into my index file where I have my projects and just use an anchor tag, ahref equals, and in the quotes, copy the URL. And then, you know, give it a name, animated history, and close the anchor tag. And This way, anybody who goes to your site will be able to view it. So I'll set it up in Atom on a different page. So let's see. I'm going to pause this and then go to Atom. All right, so I've quit out of Unity and Unity Hub. I'm back in my my Finder where I left off before uploading to itch.io. I have the finished project here with the zip version of the Vuforia AR project. And this is, I'm inside my course folder for Unity. So I'm going to go one level up. And for the sake of this example, I'm just going to use this index.html. So this index.html is actually the page where I upload the links to any demonstration files that I use in class. And so this is the page, looking at it locally. And I'm going to edit it to include a link to this project, both as a zipped package, as well as a URL link to the project uploaded to itch.io. So I'm just selecting the URL and copying it since I'm going to be using it here. I'm going to open this with my editor. And I'll put it at the very bottom, but let's imagine this is your course page. So I'm going to add maybe a line break, a horizontal rule, and I'll add finished projects. You know what, I'll call it finished assignment and projects. And I'll use an unordered list. And I'll include let's see, this is, in this case, I could say Unity and add a link to this zipped project folder. Or actually, no, that was for the browser. So I would want to add a link to this package. But since I just copied the URL from the browser, I'll do that first. And I'm going to add the attribute target equals blank to have it open in a new page since I'm going to a different website. I'll call AR project as WebGL on itch.io and close that link and close that list item. So in my server space, instead of depending on how you've organized your projects, I'll just imagine that I have a finished projects folder, and then in it I have this zip file. So remember, this is a zipped version of the Vuforia AR project.unity package which I went to assets and exported package while I was in my project in Unity. And then I zipped it. So I'll copy this name and paste it in here. I don't need that to open in a new tab, and I'll call it AR project as Unity package. And close that list item. All right, great. So I'll upload this, and I use FileZilla. Let me resize this. So I'll go to my filmmediaundergrad.hunter.cuny.edu, although that isn't mine. No, that's not mine. I don't want to go to somebody's. Okay, I'll use my own server and just assume it's your FM undergrad server and go ahead and connect. I'll worry about installing new version. So I'll traverse my server spaces or server space until I find the folder where I want to upload it. So I have this xrdev. So this is, let's imagine this is the folder where on your film media where you have been uploading your files so far, like your A-frame project or any other projects that you've uploaded. So I'll go ahead and I can just drop it from my browser. And whatever I drag and drop here will write over. So if I drag and drop this index file, it's going to write over the previous index file that was there. And I don't want that to happen, so I'm just going to cancel that overwrite. But if I was uploading, actually, you know what? For the sake of the demo, I'll go ahead and do that. And click OK. And then if I upload this, this is going to take a little bit longer as it's a 20 meg file. But we're not in dial-up anymore, so it's still relatively fast. Okay, so everything's uploaded now. So I'll go back to the browser. And let's see. Okay, so here, this is the online version of the page that I just edited. And I can see the horizontal rule here and finished assignment, which I misspelt. And if I go to the link, great, I can see the finished project. I can play it in the browser and test it. Go full screen. And great, everything is as I wanted. I'll close that. And then if I want to download the Unity package, so if for some reason, say this is one way to share projects as we proceed through the semester. If you're running into issues, you could send them to me as a Unity package and I can go ahead and download them. Oh, you know what? I didn't create a finished projects folder and upload it. It's uploaded at the top level. So if I wanted that link to work, I would need to create directory in my server space. and in this finished projects, move that package. Unity AR project. Let's put it in there. All right. Now, did I name it correctly? Unity finished projects before. Okay, let's see. Still not finished projects. Did I name it? All right. I'm going to pause this for a second. All right, I just had to refresh my page a couple times. Everything was named correctly. So if I go to AR project as Unity package, I click on it and it will download. So similarly to I open it, it's in my downloads folder. I just clicked open, and so this is what's been happening lately. So rather, maybe on my Mac, this used to work fine, but lately it generates all these folders, which I had not seen before last week. So the other option, I wonder if I can just upload rather than zipping it, upload the package itself rather than the zipped package. So I'm going to go back to FileZilla, and I'm in finished projects. I'll delete this zipped folder. It seems like on the PC it doesn't do that. So you can tell me and I can get on the PC instead. And I'll go ahead and upload it. I'm going to change my code in Atom so it's not the zipped version, but just the Unity package. Save it. And sorry about that. That's my fridge in the background. Okay, so it seems to have uploaded fine. I'm going to go one level up and update the index file. Okay, so I'll head back to the browser, refresh this a couple times. Let's see if the link is right. Okay, so now it's no longer .zip. And let's see it in a Finder. It's my downloads file. So now I can go to my Unity Hub. Create a new project. We'll call it test package download. And where's it gonna go? Work? Sure, that works. So it'll create a new project. Is it worth pausing? I'll pause. So I have a new project, and I'll go to assets and import custom package. Assets, import package, custom package. And I'll go ahead and choose the package I just downloaded. Go up. All right. From its top directory, I'll go ahead and click open. Why is it not opening? I'll go into my downloads folder there. Yeah. I was trying, yeah, I lost track of where I was and I was trying to open the package that I just generated. So it's sitting in my downloads folder and I'll go ahead and open it. And everything that makes up that project, including all the Vuforia stuff, and it'll go ahead and import. So Vuforia itself, the engine doesn't translate this way because I imagine because of the unique key. However, the sample scene will, so I'll have that reloaded. And I can now test project locally here on this new project. Everything's all the folders are there, and if I go to scenes, I can view the Vuforia scene. I'll go to the AR camera. Actually, maybe, yeah. So you see there's scripts missing. And that's because the Vuforia engine will not get packaged and shared in this way. I'd have to go into Vuforia and set up my account and get a key and load up my images just like we did for the AR demo. All right, but now I can look at everything else, such as the sample scene, and look at how things are set up. And if there were C# files that you may have created, then I'd be able to view them here. So I can go over this in class, or if you have questions, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.